Deshaun Watson has informed that the Cleveland Browns are out of the sweepstakes to land him, and I don't really know if this comes as a huge surprise. I think everyone had their hopes up, and I think there were some good pitches and cases to make for why he should go to Cleveland. But ultimately, he decides it's going to be the Falcons or the Saints. That kind of came out late last night, and then this morning we learned that he had a second meeting with New Orleans, but now it's official. Mike Garoppolo tweeting it out that the Browns are out of the running for Deshaun Watson. He says, the Browns have been informed they're out of the running for Deshaun Watson. A source says, the team still views Baker Mayfield as their quarterback going forward. They told Mayfield's agents at the combine they'd only explore top-tier QBs such as Watson. I don't know how they can walk all this back and still keep Baker Mayfield, especially after the long notes he posted on the screenshots of his notes app, which you know is like a death sentence on Twitter, that he is ready for whatever happens next, but he was basically giving a farewell speech to the dog pound and everyone in Cleveland that believed in him. So I don't know how they can twist this back and walk it all back, especially after there were reports that the Browns want an adult at QB. Like, that's not going to hurt a sensitive, emotional, fiery guy like Baker Mayfield. All right, I think they're going to have to look at other options now. And we'll look at 6 other options the Browns could have at quarterback at the back end of this video. But first, I want you guys to weigh in early. What's your one-word reaction to this? So Watson saying, I'm sorry, Cleveland. I know you had the best roster. No one else had Myles Garrett or close to him on defense, really. Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and Amari Cooper. But I'd rather go to either a rebuilding Falcons team or a Saints team that has no identity. There's no Sean Payton. There's no Drew Brees. Who are the Saints now? Well, we're going to find out. Maybe it's the Deshaun Watson-led Saints. My one word, predictable. And it came down to everything we've heard from Deshaun Watson's camp since the beginning. He didn't want to go to a cold weather city like Cleveland. He wanted to stay in the South, right? He wanted to stay in warm weather, and that sounds like a bird now, but it just never really seemed like Deshaun Watson had much traction for the Browns. The Browns loved him, but not to sound like Colin Cowherd, we were the ugly guy at the prom who asked the beautiful girl to come with us, and he decided, no, I'd rather go with another, hotter team that even if they don't have anything going for them like Cleveland does. Because let's face it, the Browns had the best roster. And I don't want to be dramatic, but what's next here? I really hope Andrew Brown thought this through. I hope Andrew Berry thought this through. I can't envision that they didn't think of plan B or plan C. That's my fear. That AB was like, you know what? We're going all in on Watson. If it doesn't work, we're shit out of luck. And I don't think that's happened. Barry's a very smart guy. We know that, right? Ivy League guy here. But I just don't want plan B to be Mariota. I don't think that's a fun option. I don't think that's an upgrade from Baker Mayfield. What's your confidence level in Andrew Berry? I can't believe I said Brown. I don't know why I was thinking of Brown. I was thinking of Cleveland Browns. Confidence level, scale 1 to 100. Let me know what your confidence level is as Andrew Berry as the GM for Cleveland down below in the comments section. I think we have to be all in on Berry. I just don't see a way that we can half-ass this season and be legitimate contenders in 2023. Meaning we're going to have to pay a lot of players and be a destination for free agents. And if we go 7-9 again, right, I just don't see a season where we come out of this looking like real contenders in 2023 by going with a stopgap quarterback for a season. And this is the best Browns roster in honestly how long? Let me know. I'm trying to think. Decades. I've never seen this much talent in Cleveland and it be limited by just little things, or I don't even call it little, but Baker Mayfield's injury-plagued season where he probably should have shut it down, and I was wrong. I thought he could have played through it, and that was the best outcome for the Browns. But hell, I'll walk it back. Give me Case Keenum in Week 10 looking back at this now. We'll get to the QB targets for the Browns in just a moment, but subscribe if you have not already, because when breaking news like this happens, we are moving quickly. We've got the whole Chat Sports team, all hands on deck, getting a video out to you guys as soon as possible. So please consider subscribing if you have not already. Would really appreciate it, and it's a great way to get free Browns news and rumors all year long. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield a little bit here, because I'm not really sure what his future is going to look like now. You got the stats in front of you. 2020 back half of the season was awesome. Oddly enough, after Odell Beckham Jr. got hurt, but I don't know if you can capture that 6-8 week portion, right? Maybe 10 weeks for a whole 17 weeks. That's been the issue. Can you do it from start to finish? We've seen 4 years of Baker. I think we have an idea of who he is. Now, maybe, you can get a Josh Allen resurgence or Drew Brees switching teams and all of a sudden how could the Chargers let him go kind of feel. But I think we have an idea of who Baker is as a QB. So I'm just guessing that Andrew Berry goes, you know what? Baker, I've seen enough. He's not the guy for us. And even though he said after the season that Baker is expected to have a full rebound in 2022 and we're excited for him, I don't know if he really meant that or if he was just having GM talk. But we got some other QB options to look at here. Now that the Browns have swung a miss on Deshaun Watson, here are 6 other ways they can go. Garoppolo is an easy name here. The 49ers are looking to trade him, and the market is drying up now that a lot of other teams have already gotten their QB. So when he used to go for an early second, maybe he goes for a third now. Derek Carr and Kyler Murray are intriguing names. I don't think either one gets traded. But I've been in Browns Twitter spaces like probably many of you have for the last 48, 72 hours. And these are 2 names that keep getting tossed around. And I don't think Vegas is looking to move on from Carr. I think they've been Josh McDaniels has been very adamant about that. But we've seen other GMs be adamant about things and then walk that back. Kyler Murray looks like he's staying in Arizona. But that was a fun little segment of him deleting everything on social media to at least spark some ideas. And then we get to 3 other options that, frankly, aren't as appealing. Gardner Minshew is not as bad as it may seem. Or, I don't know if he seems that bad. But Gardner Minshew is not a bad option. Jameis Winston, the only thing with him is he tore that ACL midway through the season. He's not going to be ready weeks 1, 2, 3 probably. So you got to find maybe Case Keenum to bridge the gap until Winston can return. And then there's the draft. You cannot rule out a 13th overall pick going to Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, one of these top QBs in a QB class I don't like. And I've been pretty vocal about that, which is why I didn't want them to move on from Baker if the plan was just to get a short-term QB and then have drafted QB in 2023. Why not just roll with Baker for the last year of his contract when you don't have to give up any assets and he only costs $18 million? But let's explore Derek Carr a little bit more because he's entering the final year of his contract, so that's an easy easy trail to go down as to why he could get traded. He's also been in trade rumors all offseason long. Now it looks like he's going to stay with Las Vegas. But with a new front office coming in town and a new coaching staff that has no ties to this guy, maybe they get an overwhelming offer from the Browns. A first and a second, and they go, you know what, Carr, we liked you, but we like that first and second more. You look at what Carr did in 2021, he's low-key not a bad QB. Like, I rag on this guy because I just don't think he is a long-term solution, but he's better than a lot of other options out there. I'll say that much. So at the end of the day, I don't see Vegas trading DC. I think they're going to hold on to him for 2022 and then reevaluate after that. Maybe once his contract's up, see if he's worthy of a long-term deal. Hell, they could even be in the works right now to get an extension underway. I think at the end of the day, the Browns are looking at the most realistic and best option, and the marriage of that is Jimmy Garoppolo. The best option that's out there, that's the most realistic, is Jimmy G. Because we know that the 49ers want to trade him. There's no hiding that. And then you factor in the fact that the Browns now need a quarterback, and Garoppolo's a bit of a scheme fit. We know Jimmy G works great in running offenses, and that's not singing high praises for a QB who's got a great handoff. He just extends that elbow, and it's sick. But what Garoppolo did in 2021 for the Bay, not bad, right? Nearly 4,000 yards, good completion percentage. He's not a consistent quarterback when it comes to the postseason, but he wins in the postseason, so it's very strange. He doesn't play well in the postseason, but his team always finds a way to win. I don't know if that's him, probably a little bit more of Kyle Shanahan. If you were to pick a QB, who would you rather have? Who's a better quarterback? Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo? If you think it's Mayfield, type 6 for his number. If you think it's Jimmy G, type 10. I think it's going to come down to this. I think Andrew Berry is looking at this right now and going, who's a better option? Personally, I take Baker over Jimmy Garoppolo and losing a second or a third round pick. This conversation isn't, who would you rather have for one season on Madden. You're going to have to give up something to get Garoppolo. And I get it that if you get Garoppolo, you're trading Mayfield. but I think Mayfield's not going to yield you that much more. I think a lot of teams are looking at what the Panthers did last season. They gave up a second for Sam Darnold and got burned. Teams are going to learn from those mistakes. And I think they're not going to give up a second for Baker Mayfield. I think a third is what he's going for. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see a market out there for a QB like Baker who's coming off shoulder surgery and a career low season, and they're like, yeah, we'll give a second. Sign me up. I'll jump into that pool right now. I think that the market's not going to be that great for Baker. And Jimmy G, who's also coming off shoulder surgery, maybe he's not going to be worth a second, but still, I'd rather have Baker over Garoppolo and losing a bunch of assets. We're going to have free agency news and rumors coming at you throughout the next couple of weeks here, as the Browns are going to be in a full QB search mode. I think they're done with Baker. So now we got to find who the next quarterback is in Cleveland. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that big red button as I twist over my words here. I'm just like kind of flushed in my mind right now. I hope that Andrew Berry thought this through. That's what I want to end on here. I hope he did, because I hope he thought it through to the point that Plan B is better than Baker Mayfield. That's what I really hope. I know he did think it through, but Plan B better than Baker Mayfield. Because if it's not, what will we do? I get it. You got to do your job. You got to pursue Deshaun Watson. But if it comes at a price of Mariota because Baker's having a bitch fit and he wants to leave, that's going to be a black eye on Andrew Berry's time in Cleveland.